Time passes like gentle breezes, carrying memories of my life. I once lived with regrets over things that couldn't be changed, trapped in joyless relationships, and burdened by unhealed wounds. But in my later years, I discovered that peace within my soul matters more than past mistakes or losses. This peace comes from letting go of regrets, meaningless relationships, and resentment. Regret was once a quiet companion, making me wonder if I would choose differently given the chance. But time cannot be reversed. Now, as I listen to birds singing outside my home, I understand that the past has receded like waves returning to the sea. I no longer carry it with me. Similarly, I learned that not everyone is meant to stay in my life. Negative relationships drain energy like weeds in a garden. By releasing them, I created space for deeper, more meaningful connections. Resentment, too, once smoldered within me, a fire burning from the inside. I learned that forgiveness is not excusing others but freeing myself from the burden of emotional pain. Letting go restored my peace and emotional freedom. Now I invite you to embark on this journey of letting go. In doing so, you will find a life filled with peace, joy, and purpose in the years ahead. Life becomes lighter and more fulfilling when we release what no longer serves us. First, lesson in peace. Regret is a part of life. Who hasn't reflected on past mistakes, wishing for different choices? It could be a job not taken, an unsaid apology, or a lost opportunity. Regret is like a heavy suitcase you carry for years. In youth, we get caught in endless what-ifs. But as I grew older, I learned that living in the past only robs the present of its beauty. I used to torment myself with questions like, why didn't I choose differently? Or, what did I miss out on? I dreamed of turning back time to fix everything. But time is irreversible. The past cannot be changed, and the only control we have is over how we respond to it. I realized regret isn't a life sentence. It's a lesson that shows we lived, cared, and tried. You can't change the past, but you can change how you carry it. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? My mistakes taught me patience, compassion, and gratitude. No one lives a perfect life. We all stumble, but how we rise shapes who we are. To let go of regret, I faced it head-on. I acknowledged my pain, telling myself, yes, this happened, but it no longer controls me. I wrote down my regrets and reflected on their lessons. This process helped me see that the past is not a prison, but a chapter in my life. I then shifted my focus to the present. I began cherishing small moments, sunlight through the window, birdsong, or a warm cup of tea. These simple joys reminded me that life still holds beauty. I ask myself each day, what can I do today to bring joy and meaning to my life? Over time, regret lost its grip on me. I found peace in knowing that my story is still unfolding, with beautiful chapters yet to be written. Letting go of regret doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means refusing to let it define you. Imagine placing that heavy suitcase of regret on the ground. As you release it, your shoulders feel lighter and your steps freer. That is the liberation of letting go. The past is only a part of you, not your whole story. The most beautiful pages of your life are still waiting to be written. You deserve peace, joy, and a light heart in the present moment. Second, freeing your heart for peace. Resentment is a heavy emotion, like a small but steady flame burning within, silently consuming your mind and heart. I once carried this feeling, believing it would protect me from future pain. I feared that letting go would invalidate my past suffering or allow those who hurt me to harm me again. But over time I realized that resentment was the true prison, robbing me of emotional and spiritual freedom. Resentment often stems from unresolved wounds, harsh words, betrayals, or injustices. It may also be directed at yourself for past mistakes or perceived failures. Holding resentment is like clutching a burning coal, waiting to throw it at someone, but only burning yourself in the process. I carried such pain from relationships that left me deeply hurt. Resentment weighed on me, keeping anger alive whenever I recalled those who wronged me. Yet, this cycle of pain left me emotionally exhausted. I couldn't change the past, but I could change how I responded to it. Letting go of resentment doesn't mean excusing or forgetting what happened. Forgiveness is a choice you make for yourself to reclaim your emotional freedom. I started by acknowledging my feelings. Yes, this happened, and it hurt me, but I will no longer let it control me. I allowed myself to feel the pain one last time with the intention of releasing it. Forgiveness is a process. I began with the simple statement, I am ready to let go. Sometimes just being ready was enough to start extinguishing the flame of resentment. I learned to see my wounds not as scars of weakness, but as marks of resilience and strength. These experiences became symbols of my healing and courage. As I gradually released resentment, I felt a deep inner peace. I imagined placing the burning coal on the ground. The moment I let go, my mind cleared and my heart lightened. Letting go didn't change the past, but opened the door to a brighter future. Negative emotions no longer controlled me. Instead, I had more room for joy, love, and gratitude for the present. This process is closely tied to nurturing healthy relationships. Life is like a garden. Removing toxic relationships and harmful emotions clears space for growth. Once I released resentment, my soul felt refreshed, like a new morning after rain. My heart was free to embrace life's beauty each day. You too can find that freedom. Don't let resentment steal your moments. Forgiveness is not for others. It is a gift you give yourself. Let go today, and your tomorrows will be lighter and more peaceful than ever before. Letting go of meaningless relationships. Keeping what nurtures peace. In our youth, we build many connections, friendships, work relationships, and family ties. Over time, some of these relationships become distant or burdensome. I've learned that not all relationships are meant to last. Some people who were once important now leave me feeling exhausted and drained. Letting go is difficult. I held on out of fear of loneliness, guilt, or habit. But I've come to understand that protecting my inner peace matters most. Letting go is like tending to a garden. The flowers symbolize those who bring joy and love, while the weeds represent negative relationships that quietly drain your energy. If you don't remove the weeds, the garden will wither. I used to keep people in my life because I didn't want to hurt them, but I realized that letting go doesn't mean resentment. It is an act of self-love and a choice to prioritize peace of mind. Some relationships are like old memories. They once held meaning but no longer fit. I recall a friend who supported me during hard times. Over the years, our conversations turned into draining complaints. I feared losing our shared memories, but I realized those memories would remain even if the relationship no longer served me. Letting go doesn't always mean cutting all ties. Sometimes, creating space and setting boundaries is enough. At first, I felt guilty and hesitant, not wanting to hurt others. But as I distanced myself from those who disrespected my peace, I found new positive experiences and more energy to invest in meaningful relationships. My soul's garden became clearer, allowing the beautiful flowers to bloom. Protecting peace of mind involves recognizing which relationships deserve to stay in your life. Just as resentment can burn your spirit, Negative relationships can quietly drain your energy. By releasing both, I discovered a profound sense of freedom. I no longer endured exhausting encounters or overwhelming emotions. Instead, I found serenity and lightness in each day. Life is short and precious. Don't let it be filled with people who make you feel small or unworthy. Surround yourself with those who bring love, peace, and understanding. Allow yourself to step away from what no longer fits. You'll find that each new day becomes lighter and more meaningful as your heart opens to love, acceptance, and a full, authentic life. Letting go of resentment. Reclaiming control over your emotions. Resentment is one of the hardest emotions to release. It lingers quietly like a slow-burning flame, trapping you in the pain of past wounds. I once thought holding on to resentment was a form of self-protection, shielding me from future hurt. Over time, I realized resentment doesn't protect. It exhausts and imprisons you, silently draining your peace of mind. Resentment often stems from deep emotional pain betrayals, harsh words, or unresolved injustices. I remember feeling deeply hurt by misunderstandings and unkind words from friends. Though we stopped speaking, every time I recalled the incident, anger would flare within me. I kept questioning how they could treat me that way. Yet by clinging to resentment, I was keeping myself trapped in those painful memories, unable to fully enjoy the present. Forgiveness does not mean excusing others' actions. It is about reclaiming control over your emotions. By holding on to resentment, I allowed the past to rob me of joy. I began the process of letting go by acknowledging my feelings. I told myself, "This hurt me, but I won't let it control me anymore." Confronting my emotions gave me the clarity to move forward. I set the intention to forgive, knowing it wouldn't happen overnight. I started with the thought, "I am ready to let go." Sometimes this willingness was enough to reduce the intensity of my resentment. I also reframed past wounds as evidence of my resilience. These experiences had strengthened and shaped me. A powerful image helped me let go. I pictured myself holding a burning coal, my resentment. I realized that clinging to it only harmed me. When I visualized placing the coal on the ground, I felt relief and calm. This was the liberation forgiveness offered. Letting go of resentment also meant forgiving myself. I had blamed myself for wrong choices and for lacking courage in key moments. Over time, I understood that I had done my best with the knowledge I had. Self-forgiveness brought deep compassion and acceptance. Releasing resentment created space within me for peace, joy, and meaningful connections. Just as distancing myself from toxic relationships freed me, letting go of resentment allowed me to live fully. Negative emotions no longer controlled me, and I could savor life's simple moments. My heart felt lighter, and my path ahead steadier. You can find this freedom too. Acknowledge your resentment and begin the process of forgiveness, not for others, but for yourself. Each day offers a new opportunity to let go and rediscover peace. When you no longer let the past define your present, your heart will be light, and your life filled with renewed joy. Letting go to find peace and happiness. After many years of living with the burdens of the past, I have come to realize that true happiness in the later years of life does not come from holding on to things that no longer have meaning. It is a journey of letting go to create space for peace and new joys. Only when we are willing to release regrets, unhealthy relationships, and resentment can we fully live in the present. This is not an easy process, but as I took it one step at a time, I felt a profound transformation within my soul. Regret was once a heavy suitcase I carried for many years. Missed opportunities and mistakes that couldn't be undone weighed heavily on my shoulders. But I eventually understood that the past had already closed, and I could not change it. Instead of letting those memories control me, I chose to learn from them and focus on the present, where I could still create new sources of joy. The same realization applied to relationships that no longer served me. I used to fear letting go of old friends and tense family connections. However, I came to see that stepping back and choosing positive relationships brought new energy and peace to my life. Resentment, too, was once a smoldering fire within me. It drained me emotionally, stealing my freedom to feel at ease. Only when I learned to forgive not others but myself did I experience a sense of lightness and calm. Forgiveness does not erase the pain of the past, but it allows you to free yourself from the grip of negative emotions that have been holding you captive. Now, I understand that letting go does not mean forgetting. It is a conscious act that allows you to release burdens and live a fuller, more meaningful life. The past is only one part of your story, not the entire narrative. The most beautiful chapters are still waiting to be written. Let go to find peace, so that each new day begins with a light heart and a clear mind. The journey of letting go to find peace life is a long journey filled with valuable lessons. At some point, we come to realize that what we need most is not perfect achievements or a large circle of relationships. The most important thing is inner peace, a place where we can live fully, lightly, and happily. However, to reach that state, you need to let go of the burdens that have weighed you down for years. Letting go does not mean giving up. It is about freeing yourself from things that no longer serve your peace of mind. Take a moment to reflect on what you are carrying in your life. Are you still burdened by regrets from the past? Are you holding on to relationships that drain your energy because you are afraid to walk away? Or are you clinging to resentment that makes your heart feel heavy? Don't let these burdens continue to control your life. Remember, you deserve a life filled with love, joy, and peace. Starting today, you can take small steps to free yourself. Acknowledge your regrets, learn from them, and refocus on the present. Reevaluate your relationships and invest your time in those who uplift and care for you. Finally, forgive yourself and those who have hurt you. Forgiveness isn't about whether they deserve it. It's about you deserving emotional freedom and a lighter heart. If this message resonates with you, share your story. Leave a comment, connect with others on the same journey, and remember that you are not alone. Choose to live for your own peace and happiness. Every new day is an opportunity to write a new chapter in your life, one filled with serenity and joy. Let go today, and you will feel the difference. You are worthy of that peace.